Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
Don Kelly's playing time has increased in the second half, and he's provided an offensive boost for the Tigers, especially against the White Sox. Kelly hitting .478 against Chicago this year. He's back in the lineup here today, and a great day for baseball in the Motor City. Welcome to Comerica Park, the final game in this series featuring the Tigers and the Chicago White Sox. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, Ron Allen, glad to have you with us for the series finale here. Tigers have a chance to take 3 out of 4 with a win here today. Rick Porcello gets the call in his last 2 against the White Sox. One good one not so good. Hopefully the good Porcello today.
Well, absolutely. He's been pitching some outstanding baseball here lately, but we're going to take you back to the 2 starts that you're talking about. He kept the ball up in the strike zone, and you just can't do that against a dangerous team. And even a guy like Juan Pierre can take you deep, which he did that day, his first home run of the year, but every other pitch he threw was at the top of the strike zone, and they beat him up pretty bad. But then the next time he saw them, he had a really good slider, he had a really good changeup, a sparkling play made behind him by Carlos Guillen. So for me, that start right there was the start that Porcello has kind of turned his season around, because he has pretty much gone 7 innings in every single start since that outing. So let's hope Rick shows up with that good stuff today.
All right, Tigers and White Sox just minutes away. In the meantime, we send you back to the Call Sam Studios now with more on our coverage today. Here's Mickey York. As we welcome you back, the Tigers and the Chicago White Sox wrapping up this 4-game series. By the way, if the Tigers combine for 3 or more home runs in this game, make sure you bring a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow and get a free small order of curly fries. Here is the starting lineup for Chicago today, presented by Honda Bloomfield. Juan Pierre leads it off at left, followed by Omar Vizquel at second base. Alex Rios is in center field. Paul Konerko is cleaning up. Manny Ramirez, the DH today. Carlos Quentin is in right field, and the bottom three is Castro, Ramirez, and Brent Morrow for Chicago. The scouting report on Tigers right-hander Rick Porcello is presented by Ace Hardware.
Well, he's been pretty good lately, and one of the reasons why Porcello has been good, he's featuring all four pitches now. I'll go along with the slider and the changeup and the fastball. He's throwing that curveball and throwing it with a lot of consistency, and for me, he's probably pitching his best baseball of the season, and he's also been able to keep the baseball in the yard. He's only given up 2 home runs in his last 6 starts, and prior to that, he had given up 9 long balls in his 8 starts before that. So he's been keeping the ball at the bottom of the strike zone.
And he's trying to get those numbers back in order. A 5.20 ERA coming into play here this afternoon. And he is ready for baseball. So are we. The first pitch of the ball game is outside to Juan Pierre. It'll be Pierre, Vizquel, and Rios. Under partly cloudy skies today, 69 our game time temperature. And there's a strike called on Pierre. He's had a double in the series. Otherwise, he has been scuffling of late. 4 for his last 27. But against Rick Porcello, much different numbers. Here's the 1-1. Chop to the right side, right at Don Kelly, and that's going to be an easy out. 1 away.
Let's take a look at the Tigers' defensive alignment this afternoon, put out there by Jim Leland. It's always presented by Beaumont Hospital. Raymer, Jackson, Bosch in the outfield. Inge, Peralta, Rhymes, Kelly in the infield. Cabrera with another day off here today, battling that biceps tendonitis. And Alex Avila has been getting the bulk of the catching the last couple of weeks. He's back behind the dish once again.
Here's Omar Vizquel. 4 for 12 in the series. He homered against Bonderman last night. It got the White Sox on the board. It turned out to be their only run. Slaps that one foul. No balls, 2 strikes.
Bonderman was outstanding in the game last night, but it would have been a much different game had Tien not committed that critical error in the 4th inning when the Tigers went on to score 4 runs in that frame.
Rondo struck out 8 in 8 innings of work, gave up only 3 hits.
It's been a long time since I've seen Bonderman as good as he was last night. That, for me, was his best outing of the year.
I agree. It was fun to watch him pitch last night. A very snappy game as well. 2-2 on Vizquel.
Oh, yeah, 2 hours always helps.
Mark Tien had a throwing error on a potential double play ball that, as you mentioned, turned the complexion of that game around quite a bit. The 2-2 is fouled off. 2 hours and 4 minutes to play that ball game last night. That's how fast it was. And Bonderman was in command from the get-go. Porcello hoping for more of the same here today. That is popped up behind the plate, but Avila will not have room.
Here's that critical error that Mark Tien made in the last night's game. He made a nice play to get to the ball, but then once he got there, flat-footed, he threw the ball in the dirt, and Omar Vizquel, with all the gold gloves he has won, could not knock it down, and the Tigers went on to score 4 runs in that inning, and that double play would have ended the inning.
Vizquel takes strike 3. Got him looking. Porcello has his first strikeout. 2 gone.
Pretty good fastball here at the top of the strike zone. You can see that Vizquel backed up. He thought it was inside, but a little swing back action by Porcello. And that's about as high as you can go in the strike zone and get a strike called.
That will bring up Alex Rios with 2 outs.
He has not looked good in this series. I'm talking about Rios. They have given him a steady diet of breaking balls. And, of course, Bonderman had an outstanding one last night, and Verlander's a couple of days ago was, well, pretty good, too.
Bouncing ball left side. Right there is Brandon Inge. That'll be a routine play and a 1-2-3 inning for Rick Porcello. Good start to this one this afternoon. Lineup today brought to you by Big Boy. It has Austin Jackson at the top in center field, followed by Will Rhymes and Johnny Damon. Ryan Rayburn is batting cleanup in this game. Then Bosch. You've got Johnny Peralta, the shortstop. Don Kelly having a big month. He's at first base. Inge at third, and then Avila is catching for Detroit. So the right-hander Gavin Floyd goes to work, and the first pitch home to Jackson is inside. Austin at 305 is 3 for 12 in the series. He has scored a couple of times. And that's ball 2. 2-0 on Jackson. Austin has been getting the offense going quite a bit here in the month of September. He has scored 22 times in his last 19 games. 2-1. Kevin Rand chatting with Rick Porcello. Hopefully nothing going on there. Porcello off to a nice start in this one, a 1-2-3 first. Apparently everything's okay. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and it missed high, 3-2. Gavin Floyd is 27 years old, out of Annapolis, Maryland. 3-2 pitch is low, ball 4. Put the leadoff man on. Well, the Bernstein advantage brings you the scouting report on Floyd. Get the Bernstein advantage. We go to bat for you.
And Floyd's a real good pitcher. One of the better right-handers in this league that a lot of people don't really talk about. He's got that power fastball. He'll get up into the mid-90s with that pitch. He's also got that 12-6 curveball, which is a really good pitch for him. And he's quite developing into an ace for Ozzie Guillen's pitching staff. And Johnny Peralta's got some really nice numbers against him. Johnny 8 for 21. With a couple of home runs against Floyd, and he's driven in 6.
Here's Will Rhymes. He is showing bunt, and he pops it up back to the screen.
I was asking Jim a couple of days ago, does it give Will Rhymes the bunt sign, or is Rhymes simply doing this on his own? Because in recent weeks, when Jackson has gotten on first base, Rhymes has bunted him into scoring position, and Jim said, well, a couple of times I've given him the sacrifice, but most of the time, Will is simply doing this on his own, trying to get Jackson into scoring position.
Here's the 0-1. Runner going, and a little pop-up back short. This one is going to drop into shallow left. So Rhymes is on with a bloop single.
That time, it appeared he gave Rhymes the hit-and-run sign. And Rhymes, of course, came through once again. Let's take a look at the Chicago White Sox defensively. They got Pierre in the outfield along with Rios and Quentin. Morrow is at third base. You've got Ramirez at short. You've got Vizquel. He's at second. Canerco's back at first. Ramon Castro is behind the plate today. And you know that Gavin Floyd is on the mound.
And Johnny Damon is at the plate with 2 on and nobody out. Tigers hitting in the bottom of the first with a good scoring opportunity early on. Damon showing bunt. Johnny's had a pretty good series. 4 hits. Gene Lamont flashing the signals at third base in the sunshine today. Ground ball foul just outside of the bag at first. 1 ball, 1 strike on Johnny Damon. .545 career against Floyd, including a long ball. Damon homered in the second game of the series a couple of nights ago, a 2-run shot. And it was Damon's first home run since late July. He had been in a bit of a power slump. Johnny with 8 home runs this year. Here's the 1-2. We'll go foul the other way down the third base line. 1-2 on Damon. Gavin Floyd trying to get his record up to 500. He's got a really good ERA, sub-4. And that missed inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Floyd was acquired from the Philadelphia Phillies along with Gio Gonzalez back in December of 2006. They gave up Freddie Garcia in that deal. And, of course, Freddie is now back with Chicago. Originally drafted by the Phillies. In fact, was a first-rounder in 2001. And the 2-2. Line to right field, base hit. Jackson rounding third. He'll come around to score. Rhymes all the way to third base. And the Tigers up and running early in this one.
And Johnny Damon saw quite a few pitches from Gavin Floyd. The last one, a 91-mile-per-hour fastball right down the middle. And a lot of times those do not make it to the catcher's glove. And a very nice start here this afternoon by the Detroit Tigers offense.
I would say so. A walk, a base hit, and another base hit. And now here's Ryan Rayburn. Still nobody out. Rayburn hits a ground ball back to second. Could be 2. There's 1. Ramirez with a relay, and there is 2. It'll get a run in, but there are 2 gone. 4-6-3 in the bounce out. Score Rhymes on the play to make it 2-0 Tigers. We'll bring up Brennan Bosch. Bosch in the series 3 for 9. And he looks at strike 1. Ground ball right side. Diving stop there by Vizquel to his feet to throw him out.
He's nice. He's real nice.
He just continues to get it done. Omar Vizquel, wherever you put him on the field. Tigers get a couple of runs and lead 2-0. Baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Strength and stability since 1849. Comcast. Call 1-800-COMCAST for TV, phone, and internet. And by the new Ultimate 50-50 raffle from the Michigan Lottery. The current jackpot is at least $79,000. Back here at the ballpark. Glad to have you with us on a beautiful day for baseball here in the Motor City. And the Tigers have given Rick Porcello a 2-0 lead to work with. It'll be Konerko, Manny Ramirez, Carlos Quentin in the White Sox second inning as these two teams wrap up a 4-game set. Here's the 0-1 pitch on the ground to third base, right at Brandon Inge. Buckner goes an easy out. 4 up, 4 down against Porcello to start this game. Well, this game today is available in crystal clear high definition on Fox Sports Detroit HD, sponsored by Comcast.
On days when Porcello pitches, the left side of the infield tends to be very, very busy. That would be Peralta today and Brandon Inge. Inge has already gotten a couple of ground balls, and 3 of the 4 outs recorded by Porcello have been on the ground, so apparently he's got that nice sinker working today.
Here's Manny Ramirez. Ramirez batting in the 5 slot today. Chicago's 5 through 9 last night in their lineup, a combined 0 for 14. And they've got some pretty good hitters in their lineup.
And they have a lot of right-handed hitters, and there's a couple of left-handers sprinkled in there as well, but usually their right-handers do not struggle all that much against right-handed pitching, but Verlander and Bonderman were very good against them the last couple of days, and Scherzer wasn't bad himself in the first game of this series.
That's in the air toward right field. Bosch coming over. Manny Ramirez is out. 2 gone.
It looked like he threw a changeup here to Ramirez that kind of tailed in on his hands, and he fisted Manny here with this pitch. It's a dangerous pitch on most occasions when you throw that changeup there, but that time he got away with it against Manny.
We'll bring up Carlos Quentin. First ball hit in the air in this game against Porcello. Quentin is 0 for 7. He has walked in the series. .24 home runs, which is already 3 more than he had all of last year. Of course, he only played in 99 games last year. And he pops this one up. Right side of the infield. Rhymes going to the grass. And that's going to be a 7-pitch inning for Rick Porcello. The White Sox a serious blow in their chances. They are 5.5 back behind Minnesota, who just keeps on winning.
They've got a really nice oiled machine there in Minnesota, led by Ron Gardenhire, their manager. They just win a lot of games.
Yeah, they've won 6 in a row, the Twins. This seemingly is their time of the year. First pitch is hammered to center field by Peralta, sinking and caught on the run by Alex Rios. Nice basket catch.
Rios got a little bit of a late break on this line drive off the bat of Peralta. He was not sure exactly what the ball was going to do, whether it was going to carry or simply die at his feet, and apparently he went in and grabbed it off the carpet.
1 gone here in the second. We'll bring up Don Kelly. who, as we told you at the top of the show, has really hit White Sox pitching very well this year. He is 4 for 11 in this series with 4 RBIs. Modest 3-game hitting streak as well, and he looks at a strike, 1-1.
Gavin Floyd is one of those pitchers you want to keep the pressure on him early, just as the Tigers did at the beginning of this game. Because most really good pitchers, if you do not get them early, you usually do not get them at all. And Floyd would fall into that category. He's a horse. He's a big fella with a power fastball, real good curveball, and a changeup. And he's got some mound presence.
6'6", 235. Gavin Floyd, and by month, you can tell that he's had some really good stretches.
His season kind of turned around on that June 8th start against the Tigers at U.S. Cellular Field. He didn't factor in the decision that day.
It's in the air to shallow center again. Rios will not get there to drop in.
But since that day, Floyd has been one of the best right-handers in the game statistically. Not so much wins and losses, but the secondary numbers are really good for Gavin. And apparently Rios not getting a real good look out in center field because he paused once again on the Kelly bloop single and not able to get there.
Kelly will take it. He came in batting over 400, almost 500 against the White Sox this year, and he has another hit. Brandon Inge hits a ground ball left side off the glove of the diving Morel, and there will be no play. Base hit for Brandon.
Now, Morel does not know Alexi Ramirez all that much. He has not played with him, so he doesn't know the range of Ramirez. But Ramirez simply sucks this ball up and gets it out at second base if it's not off the glove of the third baseman. That's why some communication needs to take place. But Brandon will take his base hit as well.
So the Tigers have something going here in the second as Alex Avila stands in. Avila hit a ball last night that turned out to be one of the key hits in the ball game. A 2-run double just out of the reach of the center fielder Rios. His first hit of the series, but it was a big one as the Tigers scored 4 runs in the frame.
Well, Leland really likes his young catcher. He likes his ability to swing the bat, although the batting average is just .216. He believes Alex will get much, much better. Defensively this year, I think he's probably done more and better than most people thought he would do. He has not been catching all that long.
He throws really well. He's getting a lot of playing time here in the month of September, day after day. Kind of amazing, really, how quickly he has taken to, I guess, arguably the toughest position on the field.
No doubt. He's got nice aptitude. Comes from a baseball family. His grandfather's been in the game a long, long time. And, of course, his dad is the assistant here and to the general manager, David Dombrowski. So he's comes from good bloodlines.
2-2 on Avila.
Played at a real good college program, and he's kind of grown up in big league clubhouses. Pretty nice gig Dad has these days. Get a chance to watch your baby boy play baseball every single day, which is not the easiest thing to do.
Yeah, it definitely isn't, especially at this level.
It's not the easiest thing to do.
2-2 the count on Avila. But it really is a blessing, though. I mean, how many guys get an opportunity to do that? Your boy is drafted into the organization you work in, and he gets to the big leagues really quite quickly. Bright future ahead of him.
When the Tigers were contemplating taking Alex in the draft when he was drafted, Al tried to talk him out of it, but they did not pay any attention to it. He said, no, we're taking him here. He said, well, no, don't draft him.
Runners go, and it's skied shallow left field. Juan Pierre coming in. Runners will retreat.
His preference was for him to go play somewhere else because of the pressure that comes along with it.
Sure. Understandable. 2 gone. That'll bring up the top of the order. Austin Jackson. Jackson had a walk and scored a run in the first inning. So that'll put him at 92 runs scored now.
He's going to get 100.
Yeah, it's starting to look like that. I would imagine he'll probably finish in the 180 range in hits, just based on what he has done to this point.
I was reading the newspaper this morning, and Ozzie Guillen had some comments on Jackson. He says he's seen him go to the plate about 50 times this year and run down balls in center field, and I'm impressed. He says, I don't usually get excited about players, especially young players, but he feels like Jackson's skill set is one that's going to allow him to have a lengthy and prosperous major league career.
He's an intriguing combination of a guy that is flashy on the field in center field, but not a flashy personality in the clubhouse. And he can run some balls down and make some great plays, but he just does it with relative ease. The 1-1. And there are times when I guess he's even surprised at maybe some of the balls he's gotten to.
No doubt. He says when the ball goes up, there are times when I do not think I'm going to get there, but I don't give up on it. I just keep running, and I'm somehow able to run them down. But I'm sure his parents have something to do with the fact that he is so well grounded and having so much success here in the major leagues.
2 balls, 2 strikes. I mean, it's not really supposed to be this easy, is it?
No, and he will tell you that. He appreciates everything that's happening around him. But as you said, you wouldn't know that he's having the kind of year that he's having. Tremendous work ethic.
And the 2-2. Fouled off. Since 1960, 160 hits, 90 runs scored, 30 doubles, 20 stolen bases. Here's the list of players.
Oh, my goodness. What a special list.
Missed it high.
And when you look at that list, the one thing that kind of jumps out at you is that all 6 of those guys could get it done on both sides of the ball.
Right.
So if they weren't having a good day offensively, they can go out and play some really good defense and take away hits and take away runs from the opposing team. That's the one thing that all 6 of those guys had in common.
Runners going and a check swing. Did he go? Yes. He went around. So the inning is over. First strikeout of the game for Floyd. It was close.
You might learn a little bit more about me.
Well, all right, Max. Our next new edition of Tigers Weekly is all about Tigers right-hander Max Scherzer, who will actually co-host the show with Mickey York. They'll discuss Max's time with the Arizona Diamondbacks, his trade to the Tigers. Also, what changed when he was sent out of Toledo in May and his impressive comeback since then. It's Tigers Weekly with Max Scherzer premiering Saturday morning at 11:30 here on Fox Sports Detroit. Don't miss that.
They call him the Terminator. He has one blue eye and one brown eye.
And he's been terminating some people on the mound, too.
That he has been doing.
He has been sensational lately.
Rick Porcello has been very good to start this one. 6 up, 6 down. He's facing Ramon Castro. It'll be Castro, then Alexi Ramirez, and Brent Morrell. Two 2-0 on Castro, batting .309. 2-1.
Good pitch. 86. Late life. Movement on the fastball, which is what you need to have, especially if you fall behind hitters 2 balls and no strikes. You can't throw that 4-seam fastball up there. And of course, those of you that do not know the difference between a 4-seam and a 2-seam fastball, the 4-seam fastball is a straight fastball. It's a little bit harder. The 2-seamer, it's got a little bit of movement to it down in the strike zone, and Porcello has one of the better 2-seamers in the game.
Ainge able to snatch that one at third base. Nice play. 7th straight retired by Porcello to start this game. A little bit of help from Brandon Ainge.
When the starters start to go through the rotation 2-3 times and they put up really good numbers, you win 10 games, and that's exactly what that graphic validates.
It has been an impressive stretch. One in which Porcello is continuing here today, at least so far. Alexi Ramirez with 1 out. 2 out of 8 plus an RBI and a steal in this series for Ramirez. Alexi had that game-tying pinch hit single on Monday in the 8th inning. The game that the White Sox would go on to win, their only win in the series. 2-1. An exciting player, Alexi Ramirez. Terrific range, good throwing arm, and a guy that is kind of fun to watch out there at short. He can hit too. 16 homers. Pop that one up. Who's going to take it? Kelly coming out of the mound to haul it in. There are 2 gone. Time to go to the studio now. We check in with Mickey York for this game break. All right, Mickey, thank you. 16 innings. That's a whole lot of fun. There's a ball up high to Brent Morrell. Angels, pretty much despite their win last night, at hard times these days. They're in 3rd place in the West. 9.5 out with time running out.
One thing about that Angels team, they will regroup in 2011. They've got the resources to do so, and they also have a really nice field general in Mike Scioscia.
Even a miss, 1-2. Yeah, you can bet on that. There's no doubt about that. The one surprise, though, to me at least, is Seattle. I didn't think they would be in this bad a shape.
Well, they thought they would be printing up postseason tickets about this time of the year, according to the moves they made in the offseason.
Morrell is caught looking. Strike 3. 9 straight retired by Porcello. He strikes out his 2nd of the game. Sports Detroit is brought to you by the Romani Eye Institute, the most trusted name in eye care, and by AT&T. Find out what's possible with the nation's fastest mobile broadband network. AT&T, rethink possible. Here come the Tigers now in the bottom of the third. They are leading by a 2-0 score. Will Rhymes starting it off. Rhymes, then Damon, then Rayburn. Kevin Floyd back to work here. And he misses outside. 2-0 on Rhymes. Will had a base hit to left field his first time up, eventually scored. There's a strike, 2-1. Rhymes came into this game having hit .305 in his previous 26 games. His September has been pretty good. And he drives this one toward left field. It's a fair ball. Another hit. The air cuts it off quickly. Rhymes with a wide turn.
Hey fans, groups have more fun at Tigers games. Group tickets, picnics, and party suites are available with groups of 15 or more, receiving discount tickets to select games while supplies last. Call 313-471-BALL, or you can visit Tigers.com.
Here's Johnny Damon.
The one part of Will's game that he really hasn't shown us a lot of since coming to the major leagues, and that's his ability to steal a base. He's got speed. And here's a good situation to run in. They've got a 2-run lead, and Gavin Floyd is not all that quick getting the ball to the catcher, Castro. He's got a very high leg kick.
Line to right field, base hit. Rhymes will hold. Now he's going to start and stop, but he'll go back to second base, and it gets away. And now Rhymes will go to third. Damon will cruise into second. The White Sox have not been playing good defense recently.
Take a look at the leg kick here. He does not pick the leg up. Therefore, he throws a little two-seamer at the bottom of the strike zone. He doesn't control it very well. And Damon, knowing that Rhymes has speed, which means he's going to get a fastball, he's able to hit it into right field. And Rhymes didn't know what quite to do until Gene Lamont finally said the ball's gotten away from the third baseman. Come on over here.
Well, it was initially bobbled a little bit by Quentin, and then his throw got away. So he'll be charged with an error, and that'll leave runners at second and third. Nobody out. It's going to be 18 errors in their last 15 games for the White Sox. Ground ball to short. They're going to send Rhymes home, and he'll score.
Well, here's the difficulty that Quentin had with the base hit to right field. He looked up at the last moment to see where the Rhymes was going, and then he picked it up and he fired it. And he fired it right past the young shortstop, Morel. Third baseman, excuse me, Morel.
Rayburn gets an RBI to make it 3-0. Here's Bosch. One on Brennan, who had a hit taken away in a diving play by Vizquel back in the first. 3 runs on 6 hits now for the Tigers. Damon at second with 1 out. Tigers got 2 in the first, 1 here in the third. Backing the pitching so far, Rick Porcello. One ball, 1 strike. Two and one on Bosch. Tigers now in the last 3 games in this series have outscored Chicago 17-2. they really probably should have won that first game. They had a late lead. The White Sox tied it up in the 8th and eventually won it in extra innings.
White Sox were having, and they still, even if they lose this game today, they will have had a good road trip. Anytime you leave your home and you win 7 of 10 on the road, that's a good trip. But they started out by winning the first 7 of the road trip.
3-1 pitch is swung out and missed.
And they saw some pretty good pitchers. They saw Buchholz and Lackey and Beckett in Boston. They swept the Boston Red Sox. They've seen Scherzer. They've seen Verlander. Bonderman pitched like those 5 guys last night. So they've been able to beat some really good pitchers along the way on this lengthy trip.
To the shortstop. Alexi Ramirez throws out Bosch. Damon will get to third. 2 outs for Peralta. Peralta fly to center field his first at bat. That was back in the 2nd.
Peralta the last couple of days have done something that I really haven't seen him do a whole lot of, and that's hit the ball the opposite way. He doubled down in that right field corner a couple of nights ago, and he also hit a bullet to right field in last night's game that was caught by Andrew Jones. So he's been starting to drive the ball the opposite way, which would bode well for him. He would get that batting average above 253, somewhere in the 275 to 280 range, which means he would drive in a lot more runs.
There's another one to right field, and he's driven in a run. So Peralta goes the other way again, an RBI single scoring Damon.
I'm going to have to do a little investigation just to see why he's been driving the ball that way so effectively. That has not been a part of his game, but this is perfect. He allows the ball to get deep in the strike zone. It's a fastball down and away. That's a ball that Peralta usually plays pepper with the shortstop with.
So this is something you think is consciously something he's doing.
Well, look at that straight chart. That kind of gives you the idea. He doesn't do it very often, but he's done it a lot lately.
Tigers now have a 4-0 lead. Don Kelly, the batter. Kelly had a single back in the 2nd. 5 hits in the series. Driven high in the air to center field. Rios going back, reaches, and he hauls it in.
That thing just kept carrying and carrying.
Not kidding.
Of strikeouts. Both of those strikeouts were looking, and it's always a good sign when he's getting bunches of ground balls, which he has gotten so far in this game. The left side of the infield always busy when Porcello has been on the mound, and Brandon Inge has already fielded at least 3 ground balls in this game.
Meanwhile, the Tigers have scored 4 runs on 7 hits as Porcello goes back to the hill. Juan Pierre, the leadoff man. He'll be followed by Omar Vizquel and then Alex Rios. Drops that one in nicely, 0-2.
Porcello is finally throwing that curveball once again at about 70 to 72 miles an hour. And it has been a really good pitch for him the last 4 starts.
Chopper back up the middle. Peralta barehanding. He is out at first base.
Johnny is doing it all.
Again, we see a shortstop barehanding a ball.
Well, first and foremost, you have to understand that you're going to get lots of ground balls when Porcello's on the mound. And Johnny and Brandon on the left side of that infield, they are ready for the ground balls. And the only way you get a guy like Juan Pierre running from the left side of the batter's box on this play is you have to treat it like it's a do-or-die play. Nice play by Johnny. Come in, off the plate. Grab it in the palm, you flip it to the fingertips, and the old pull-it play.
There's a base hit to right field for Vizquel.
Just to finish that thought on Porcello and him starting to throw that curveball once again. When he got sent back down to the minor leagues, that's one of the things they encouraged him to do was to start to throw the curve again. He already had the fastball, the slider, and that changeup, but those pitches weren't working very well for him when he got sent down to the minors. But when he went down for those 4 starts, 2 of which were really good, he came back with a lot more confidence.
And the numbers have backed that up. That's the first hit allowed by Porcello in this game. Rios is 0 for 1 with a ground out.
He also grounds into a lot of double plays. I mean, a lot of them.
Drives this one high in the air, deep into left field, way back, and that ball is going to go beyond the bullpens and into the seats in left. It's a long 2-run shot for Rios.
Yeah, that ball right there is not going to yield many ground balls. And it's one of the better swings that Rios has taken in this series. The ball is up, the swing is real short and quick and compact, and he drilled this thing. I mean, he drilled it. Pulled his hands in close to his body, and that's when you get the real good leverage from your legs, when your hands stay that close to your body.
385 feet on the home run by Rios. That makes it a 4-2 ball game. Rios hits his 21st. Pinerco looks at ball 1. Grounded out as well, back to Brandon Inge back in the second. There's a soft liner caught by the shortstop Peralta. 2 gone. Here's our AT&T trivia question this afternoon. Who are the top 3 home run hitters in White Sox history? One of the top 3. And apparently they're all in the ballpark today. Answer coming up in a little bit. Here's Manny Ramirez. Strike 1 on Manny. He's 0 for 1. Speaking of home runs, Manny 554 in his career, and that's good for 14th all time. 1-1. Ramirez was a waiver claim from the Dodgers right at the end of August. One pitch. Not a whole lot Manny hasn't done in his career. He's been a fabulous hitter. Of course, much of the damage he has done coming in a Cleveland Indians uniform. And the 1-2. He tipped it in the glove for strike 3. 3rd strikeout of the game. Porcello bouncing back after the home run to Rios. Their lead has been chopped in half as we go to the bottom of the fourth inning here. Tigers and White Sox wrapping up this 4-game series. Gavin Floyd back to the hill. Brandon Inge leads it off and takes ball one. Inge and then Avila and then Austin Jackson. Tigers have 7 hits today. The White Sox have a pair of hits. And there's the strike, 1-1 on Inge. Brendan had an infield single. Tigers got 2 men on in that second inning but failed to score. Two balls and 1 strike. Bouncing ball left side. Morel cuts it off and throws him out. 1 away.
Hey fans, be at Comerica Park tomorrow when the Tigers take on the Baltimore Orioles at 7:05. The first 10,000 fans 16 and over receive a Tigers fan-only parking sign. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com.
Avila takes ball one. And here is your parking sign right here. I misspoke the other day. I said Rod puts this in his garage where he parks his Porsche, but it's actually a Lamborghini.
I wish I had one of those.
This is a nifty item, though.
In my parking garage.
And you can score one of your own by coming on out to Comerica Park. Alex Avila is on again.
Really good swing there by Avila. As a matter of fact, he's taken some good swings the last couple of days. Jim made the comment about Avila yesterday talking to the media, and he said he's been a little bit too passive in fastball counts, and you can see that he visibly caught that fastball out in front and ripped it to right.
So Floyd now has given up 8 hits already in this game. We're only in the 4th inning.
In his last 3 starts, he had not given up 8 hits in any of those starts. So apparently the Tigers are on to something here today against Gavin.
Jackson has a walk and a strikeout. All of the 8 hits for the Tigers are singles. That'll get back out of play. 0-2 on Jackson. Floyd has struggled against the Central. In his own division, he's 2-6 with an ERA north of 6. He's made 10 starts against the Central, this being the 11th this year.
Castro wanted that ball up, and Gavin did not get it up as high as Castro wanted it, and Jackson almost made him pay. Pretty good 0-2 swing there by Austin.
And that's fouled off Castro. No balls, 2 strikes. The count remains. Tony Randazzo walking out to halfway to the mound and giving Castro a chance to catch his breath.
It's a really good look at that 12-6 curveball that I told you in the pitching report that Gavin Floyd throws. If you look at a clock, you simply look at the hand of 12, and at the bottom of the 6, that's his curveball.
The 0-2. Swing and a miss, and a defensive swing there by Jackson. 2 outs. That's the second time he's fanned in this game. He's going to bring up Will Rhymes, who has a couple of hits in 2 at-bats. So Will now batting .309. You were talking at his last at bat about the one thing that we have yet to see from Will, his ability to steal bases, and he's done a lot of that in the minor leagues. In fact, he's had 3 separate seasons of 20 or more stolen bases. So that can be a part of his game. And going forward, it certainly is something that Jim Leyland would like, because he really hasn't had too many base stealers in his tenure here.
One of the reasons why Will has not been able to run very much is simply Miguel Cabrera. There have been times when Will has been on first base with only one out, and Jim knows beyond a shadow of a doubt if he steals the base, and let's say whoever the number 3 hitter is makes the out, then Cabrera doesn't hit. And that's a lot of the reasoning why Will has not run that much at this level. Jim simply wants Cabrera to swing that bat. And it makes it a little harder for opposing managers to walk Cabrera if first base is occupied.
Cabby out again today, still day-to-day with that biceps tendonitis. That's driven to right field. That's another base hit for Rhymes. He's 3 for 3.
Jim was talking about this last night, but it was in regards to the starter, John Danks. And it applies to Gavin Floyd as well. He has not seen a lot of these younger Tigers players. A lot of these guys that are playing today, he hasn't seen all that often, and Rhymes is one of those guys, and he has not been able to figure Rhymes out. Nor has many starting pitchers. Rhymes has done a very nice job up here.
Here's Damon. He's 2 for 2. So the Tigers, without Cabrera, have 9 hits in this game. They had 8 hits, 5 runs in last night's game. Johnny Damon has knocked in a run here this afternoon. Shattered his bat, rolls it back up the middle. Ramirez coming across the bag, can't make a play, lost the grip. Ran about 10 feet beyond the bag at second to the opposite side.
He's got a lot of range, but Johnny Damon will get his 3rd hit of the afternoon as well. He was shading him up the middle, as you can see where he's at, and he goes over on a broken bat single. Can't corral it, can't get the out.
Rhymes is 3 for 3. Damon is 3 for 3. Top of the Tigers lineup here today, now 6 for 8.
It's a good veteran move there by Omar Vizquel to go in and calm Gavin Floyd down.
Rayburn has an RBI. In fact, in every one of his at-bats so far in this game, he's had at least 2 men on base. Bases are loaded here with 2 outs. And a bouncing ball back up the middle. It's scooped up by Vizquel, and a great play, not in time. Infield hit. Another RBI for Rayburn, and that's going to be his 50th of the year.
Here's a very difficult play by the middle infielders. Both guys have such great range is that they both went for this ball. Vizquel was able to get to it, but if Ramirez could do it all over again, he simply would go to the bag, and if he does that, they get an out at second base. But when you have a ball that's hit in that direction right up the middle, you have both guys converging, and Rayburn with his speed able to beat it, even though Vizquel made a very nice play.
11 Tigers hits. They lead 5-2. Bosch is the only Tiger so far that has yet to reach base. 273 career with the bases loaded. The Tigers have put up at least 1 in every inning but the second in this game. Way outside, 2-0.
You have to go all the way back to May 4th, the last time that Gavin Floyd gave up 11 hits in a game. And he's only given up 11 hits or more once this season.
2-1 on Bosch.
So what the Tigers are able to do here today against a real good right-handed pitcher is not something that's done very often.
Scott Linebrink warming up. Off the end of the bat, hit to third. Morrell will hit the bag for the out. He'll get the force, and that will end the inning. The Tigers get a run back. We played 4 here this afternoon. It's now 5-2. Well, let's stay in 1977. Lou Whitaker and Alan Trammell debut. Play a record 19 years together. How about that? Two of the greatest infielders in the history of the Tigers. They were together so long. And two great, great players. I think of middle infielders in Detroit. Certainly there have been a lot in the history of this organization. Some great ones, but at least for our generation. Lou Whitaker, Alan Trammell. They played in 1,918 games together, which is a record for a shortstop, second base combo. And they could hit, too. Played really good defense. So you talk about two guys that had to know each other's every move over that period of time. Exactly where they were playing at on each and every pitch, where they liked the double play feeds. Dynamic duo. Carlos Quentin leading it off as we go to the 5th inning. 5-2 in favor of the Tigers. Porcello started this game by retiring 10 straight. Then Vizquel singled and Rios homered. Rick got Quentin to pop up his first time. Here's the 2-2 pitch. 3-2. Castro waiting on deck. He'll then be followed by Alexi Ramirez. Here's the 3-2. Fouled away. Tigers wrapping up this series, and then Baltimore comes to town. And Jim Leland's club will wrap up this homestand. They have just a couple of road trips left. Armando Galarraga getting the baseball tomorrow. That's popped up. Foul ground, first base side. Kelly over the tarp, and the ball gets into the seats. Good effort, got there quickly, but the ball tailed on him.
After Galarraga makes his next start, he will be skipped his next turn with the days off next Monday and also next Thursday. Jim Leland has elected to skip Galarraga, which is not uncommon when you've got guys like Verlander and Scherzer in your rotation.
Three and two. And another foul back out of play. It's going to be a 10-pitch at bat at least. Number 10 coming up. A lengthy battle to start things off here in the 5th. And here is number 10. Popped him up. Kelly coming over. So Porcello wins that one. Got him to pop up twice in this game as Quentin is 0 for 2. We'll bring up Ramon Castro. Castro is 0 for 1 with a ground ball. Tigers, with their win last night, get back up to 500. This is the area, though, they've not been able to take off. Getting to 500, then stringing together some wins. They are 70-70. Strike one on Castro. One and one. Castro, pretty good hitting catcher. He has 7 home runs in limited playing time. Pierzynski is their starter. Ground ball to third, deep behind the bag, and the backhand Inge has it. Knows he has time, and an easy throw gets him.
And Brandon always gets in that ready position right before the ball's hit. You can see him getting up on the balls of his feet, and that allows him to move laterally east and west. And this time he goes to his right and makes a nice play.
Here's Alexi Ramirez. Ball one on Alexi. Ramirez has hit the skids a little bit. He came in at just 203 over his last 16 games. And Porcello behind 2-0. There's a strike call, 2-1. Driven to left field on a line and caught by Ryan Rayburn. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Porcello. Tigers baseball this afternoon is presented by Bell Tire. Game. The White Sox have only 2, and it's a 5-2 Tigers lead as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Kevin Floyd back to the hill, and the Tigers start things off with Johnny Peralta. He takes a breaking ball in there for strike one. Peralta, Kelly, and then Brandon Inge in the Tigers' 5th. Waiting to miss. Tigers got 2 in the first, 2 in the second, make it 2 in the third rather, and then 1 in the fourth, nothing in the second inning. The only inning that Floyd was able to keep them off the board. The Tigers have had a couple of runners on in every inning. And that one just missed inside. Missed high, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Kelly on deck. Floyd had thrown 77 pitches through 4 innings of work. There's a line drive knocked down by Floyd. And right back at him. Peralta's out.
Looked like he hit him right in the chest.
This will tell us. Ooh, little deflection right to the chin.
Herm Schneider, outstanding trainer, longtime trainer for the Chicago White Sox, along with the skipper, going to check on Gavin.
Well, they see if he is okay. Here's that trivia question. Who are the top 3 home run hitters in White Sox history? We said all 3 of them are in the building today, and they are. There's Harold Baines. He's 3rd on that list. The Big Hurt doing some television work today. Frank Thomas and Paul Konerko, the other 2.
It's a lot of home runs.
The Big Hurt will fill up a booth, won't he?
Oh, he's a big man.
He is huge.
He could hit, too. That name fit. The Big Hurt. He did a lot of damage with that bat.
And a good friend, Wimpy Tompachoric, working with him today. The native Detroiter from Hamtramck. Here's the 0-2 to Kelly. And a bouncing ball to third. Morrell backs up on the hop. Kelly is out. Two gone. And Floyd is looking for something he hadn't been able to do all day, and that's get a 1-2-3 inning. Brandon Inge will bat. Look out, there goes the barrel as he fouls it off. One on Inge.
Brandon used one of those cupped bats at the end, and when you hit it right off the end of the bat as he did right there, that's exactly what happens. You have to go back and get another one.
What's the purpose of those cupped bats?
Well, some guys like a little bit more weight with their bat, and you can get a little bit more weight with the bat, but when you cup it, it makes it feel lighter, if that kind of explains, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yep, absolutely.
You get a heavier bat, but then you cup the end of it, which still gives you that substance where you want it, which is on the head of the bat, but it doesn't feel as heavy. That's why guys cup bats. What are they going to do with that one?
Souvenir, auction it off, I guess.
Doing some surgery on it.
That's into right center field and caught by Rios, and it is indeed a 1-2-3 inning for Gavin Floyd. Let's go to the sixth. Game using your cell phone. Text Tigers followed by a space in the player's uniform number to 37338. Or FSDET. See the final results. Postgame during Tigers Live. Vote for your Tigers. McDonald's player of the game. Porcello back to the hill as we go to the 6th inning here today. The Tigers on top 5-2. And a chance to take 3 out of 4 in this series from Chicago. Brent Morrell is leading it off, the rookie third baseman. And he skies one to center field. Jackson cruising over into right center. And Morrell is out. One away. Well, the big league season is still going, but the minor league season winding down. In some cases, it's over. West Michigan is in the playoffs. And they are trailing Lake County 1-0 in the best of 3 in that series. But how about a couple of guys, Rod, that are important, Oliver and Turner?
Well, every time the Tigers call someone and they want to make a trade to help their major league club, these two gentlemen are the two players the other teams continue to ask for. So that kind of says it all about those two gentlemen.
Oliver making his big league debut earlier this year. Maybe a little bit more advanced, a college pitcher. And Turner, a #1 pick and a bright future as well. Juan Pierre, the batter. Pierre is 0 for 2. Ground ball to first base. Right there is Kelly. 2 gone. Time for a game break now. We go back to the studio. Here's Mickey York. All right, Mick, thanks. That's a great night.
Absolutely. Anytime you can do anything for charity.
There's a ball outside of Vizquel. We've gotten the final totals on each of the baskets. Package number 1, the winning bid from Victor from Dearborn, $2,000. Package number 2, Val from Detroit, $2,500. And the third package, also Val from Detroit, $3,500. So
Val had a couple extra nickels in her piggy bank.
Apparently so. Night. And putting them to good use. 3-1 on Vizquel. Popped up foul, back out of play. Ground ball, right side. It gets past Rhymes. And how about Vizquel? He has 2 hits today. 2 of their 3. This guy just won't slow down. That's 2,789 hits in his career.
43 years old, playing a day game after a night game, and playing like he's 25 years old again.
It's kind of astonishing. I mean, this deep into the season at his age, to be doing what he's doing.
He has played more games than any other foreign-born player in the history of baseball.
I was reading something on Vizquel the other day. He said the secret to his longevity in the game is that the minute he got to the big leagues, he took stretching very seriously. He very rarely, if ever, would miss stretch. And he said you stretch the right way, you lift the right way, you eat the right foods, you take care of your body, and you can play this game for a long time.
That is great to hear, because so many young players, when they come to the minor leagues, they take their flexibility for granted. I mean, you're just young. You're 19, you're 20, 21 years old, and you feel invincible.
Right.
And then after you get a little older, when you are forced into starting to stretch, you don't quite know how to accomplish it.
Well, for Vizquel, that certainly has worked for him. He went on to say that a lot of players do take that for granted when they get to the big leagues. They feel that they're at the highest level of the game, but you have to continue to work to stay here. As to the shortstop, Peralta, he'll get the force, and the inning is over. No runs, a hit, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 6th.
With Juan Pierre, one of the faster players in the American League, running from the left side of the batter's box. Peralta comes in and makes an outstanding play to get him by half a step. Coors Light Freeze Cam is brought to you by your Frost Brewed Coors Light.
So here come the Tigers now in the bottom of the 6th inning. Alex Avila leads it off and hits it high in the air to center, but it's playable for Alex Rios. Ball jumped on him a bit. 1 out. Now the top of the order, Austin Jackson. So the Tigers today have put up 5 runs on 11 hits against Gavin Floyd. All 11 hits are singles. Back out of play, 0-1.
We were talking about the minor leagues and a couple of minor league players. Daniel Fields, his season is over down in Lakeland. He had a .240 batting average, hit 8 home runs, and drove in quite a few runs. And for a guy leaving high school, Mario, to go play in that league, to put up any kind of numbers are astounding. I mean, you go from playing with kids to playing with grown men.
Well, Lakeland is considered high A ball, the Florida State League, and he knocked in some runs and hit some homers.
Look at him. Look at those shoulders. He's a good-looking young man, and it might not be long before we see him in a Tigers uniform.
You talked to his dad, Bruce, recently?
I talked to Bruce a couple of days ago. Bruce was going down to Florida, as a matter of fact, to watch Daniel play the final week of his season. Of course, Bruce travels as the minor league roving hitting instructor for the Cleveland Indians, so he does not get a chance to watch his son play all that often, but Bruce is here in attendance as well.
There he is, the former Tiger hitting coach.
He got a scout seat today. Over here, nice. Sitting right behind home plate.
Here's the 3-2 pitch, and there's a strike call. So Jackson is out of there, 2 gone.
Pretty good fastball here. Well-located fastball at 92 miles an hour. Away from the arm side. Those usually don't get hit very hard, if they get hit at all.
Here's Will Rhymes. Rhymes takes ball 1.
Just to finish that thought on Daniel, his season's not over. He'll be headed down to Lakeland, Florida once again for instructional league here in a week or so.
Talk about that a little bit, because I think sometimes fans don't realize that sometimes baseball is a 12-month thing for a lot of these guys.
It really is. Either they're training or they're playing, and that's how you get to the big leagues.
Here's the 2-0.
He's seated right next to his brother Aaron. Aaron was drafted by the Cleveland Indians and played some baseball this year as well in the New York Penn League. So you got a couple of brothers that are playing professional baseball.
Aaron went to college, didn't he?
Wright State.
Wright State. 3-1 on Rhymes.
That's how you get good, though. I mean, here he is. He could be doing anything today. But he's here watching some big league baseball.
They finally retire Rhymes on the soft liner to short. And that's it for the Tigers here in the 6th. We go to the 7th. 5-2. series finale. Rick Porcello, so far so good. He gave up just the 2 runs in the 4th, and he's been marvelous today.
How about pitching into the 7th inning here today? It's the 4th time in his last 5 starts he's been able to do so, and he's only thrown 77 pitches.
A lot of gas in the tank. He has scattered just 3 hits. Vizquel has 2 of those. Konerko takes strike 1. Konerko is 0 for 2. Missed a couple of games with a bad back, some stiffness in his back. In the series now 1 for 6. Oh, 2. It's good that Konerko didn't come in firing at all cylinders in this series, because look at what he has done this year.
He's had a really good year.
14 game-winning RBIs, tied for most in the American League. There's a base hit back up the middle.
Hey fans, as soon as the game ends, our coverage continues with Tigers Live. You'll hear from the manager, Jim Leland, and the players. Plus, we'll break down the game and show you all the highlights. Tigers Live from the Call Sam Studios immediately after the game here on Fox Sports Detroit.
So here's Manny Ramirez, who is 0 for 2 today. Strikeout, flyout. That hit just the 4th of the game for Chicago. Porcello would love to get a ground ball here. Five through 9 in the Chicago lineup in the last 2 games, now 0 for 26. Ramirez batting in the 5 slot. That ball gets away from Avila. Move the runner up. So Chicago the last 2 nights not really getting a whole lot from the bottom of their lineup. Wild pitch.
That ball snuck just underneath the right arm of Avila. He did everything right to try to get over in front of it, but it snuck right past him.
One and 2. First time today the White Sox have gotten a man in scoring position. And this is an area where certainly the White Sox wanted Manny Ramirez for, and he has been very good with runners in scoring position. 345. Avila with the stop there. 3 and 2 on Ramirez. Career 328 with runners in scoring position. Carlos Quentin on deck. Ground ball hit to short. Runner will not advance. Peralta throws on Ramirez, and Manny is 0 for 3.
And let's take a look at our Bell Tire pitch by pitch at how Porcello went after Manny. And you usually have success against Ramirez if you keep the ball out of the middle of the plate. And you also have to change eye levels, and you also have to change and vary your speeds on the pitches that you throw. And that's exactly what Porcello does here. And he keeps the ball at the bottom of the strike zone for the most part to get the ground out to shortstop.
Here's Carlos Quentin. And we talked about Peralta, but there is something that can be said about the guy that will make that routine play every single time with the perfect throw to first base.
I'll take that guy. Flash is good. Get you pumped up, but you went up here being real steady and making all the plays. I'll take a team full of those guys.
A lot of confidence knowing if that ball is hit to the shortstop, the play will be made, and Peralta has showed that over and over since joining the Tigers. Quinton swings on 2-0 and rolls it to second. Here's the runner up. 2 gone.
Well, speaking of flashy plays, you will not see a better play by a second baseman this year. It was Guillen on a double play ball behind the back to Ramon Santiago, and the double play was completed. And what a play that was by Carlos Guillen, in one of the many double plays that Rios has hit into this year.
Here's Castro now with 2 outs. I could watch that play over and over and over. It's a lot of fun to see guys that are able to make that play. And the Tigers have made a lot of great plays this year. Of course, the catch by Austin Jackson in the Galarraga game stands out as well. 1-1.
Carlos, a shortstop by trade, and usually when you move over to the other side of the bag, you still have some of those tendencies as a shortstop to make the flashy play.
Gonna get away, and here comes the runner, scoring, standing up.
It appeared that Avila was crossed up there by Porcello, and you don't usually see that with a runner on third, not a guy on second base, but that appeared to be the case right there. Puts down a slider and then a fastball, and well, actually, he was looking for the slider, and he tried to catch the fastball, so he was crossed up.
On the ground at third base, Inge gobbles that one up, and that is that. So the wild pitch scores a run. White Sox get one back. It's now 5-3.
With Rhymes on first base, it was a slide step by Gavin Floyd, and he took advantage of that fastball, and he was able to whistle that ball into the outfield. The last one was a broken bat single that Alexi Ramirez was not able to get to, but a nice day here today by the veteran outfielder, Johnny Damon.
And Johnny leads it off here in the 7th inning. Tigers trying to rebuild their lead now. It's 5-3. 3 for 3 for Johnny Damon. Gavin Floyd back out there. Floyd 103 pitches through 6 innings as he goes to work here in the 7th. Tigers have 11 hits, only 4 for Chicago. And that's sliced and a 4-hit game for Johnny Damon.
I see you, Johnny Damon.
Pierre misplays that ball a little bit, but Damon will hold up. 4 for 4, all singles. Tigers still do not have an extra base hit today.
It's a fastball on the outer edges of the plate, and Johnny Damon goes with it perfectly.
Leadoff man is on, and here is Ryan Rayburn. And Thornton is starting to warm up in their bullpen.
It's one of the things the Tigers have pretty much been able to stay out of the way of in this series, and that's the back end of that White Sox bullpen. They've got some power arms out there.
Rayburn from the cleanup spot is knocked in 2 today. Right back up the middle into center field. Base hit. 13 hits today for the Tigers. Numbers on Floyd. He has thrown 108 pitches. That's above what he normally will give you. And it looks like a wall side windows pitching change upcoming here as Ozzie Guillen makes his way out to the mound. Bosch due up. Thornton will come in to face him. They've faced off before. Back with the latest edition next.
.com at Bat 2010 featuring play-by-play, video highlights, and live audio broadcasts. Visit Tigers.com today for all the details you need.
Well, the Tigers are leading 5-3 here, trying to add on to that lead. They've had 13 hits here this afternoon, and all of them have been singles. Most hits without an extra base hit since 04, May of 04.
It's a long time.
13 singles here today. Now we'll see a pinch hitter here as Casper Wells will come in to hit for Brendan Bosch.
Outstanding fastball does Thornton have. He will get up to 97 miles an hour with his heater. Also a really good breaking ball and one of your better left-handed setup men in all of baseball. Really, one of your better setup men in baseball, left-handed or right-handed. He's got the numbers to back it up. 66 strikeouts in 48 1/3 innings this year for Thornton. Against 15 walks, the league hitting 211 against Matt.
He had some elbow inflammation, which put him on the disabled list.
He has had a heavy workload since putting on the Chicago White Sox uniform, setting up for Bobby Jenks. It has been a really nice combination for Don Cooper, their pitching coach, and the manager, Ozzie Guillen.
Fouled away by Casper, 2-1. Earlier this year had a string of 22 straight scoreless outings until the Tigers got to him back on August 13th, snapping that string. And that's hit hard to third. Nice stop by Morrell. Fires to second. And they get the out there. Morrell has been known as one of their better third basemen defensively in the organization. Made a nifty play.
He throws this ball from his knees, and he throws a strike to Vizquel, the second baseman.
First and third, one out. It's going to bring up Peralta. Johnny takes ball one inside. Single to drive in a run back in the third, and Peralta now with 68 RBIs.
Most of the fastballs that Thornton have thrown in the inning since coming in have been right around 94 miles an hour. Has not gotten much above that.
High towering fly ball left field. Damon will tag up. Pierre going to the warning track. This will get a run in. And Wells will go back to first base. Sac fly RBI. So the Tigers lead by 3 again. Second RBI of the day for Peralta. There's Don Kelly now with 2 outs. Rick Porcello today giving up 3 runs, 2 in the 4th, 1 in the 7th. Going 1 on Kelly. Don 1 for 3 today. He's hit safely now in his last 4. The splits show that lefties don't have all that much success against Thornton. Just 167. Matt Thornton is a former Laker from Grand Valley State. A local kid who has been a mainstay in their bullpen. Born in Three Rivers, Michigan. And that is high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Chase Wells back again. Tigers have supported Porcello with 6 runs on 13 hits today. And Rick's at 93 pitches after 7 innings of work.
He's going back out there for the 8th, too.
Here's the 2-2. Kelly takes outside. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Casper Wells will be on the move. Brandon Inge waiting on deck. And there's some chirping going on now for the dugout. For Chicago, and home plate umpire Tony Randazzo's had enough. Apparently they didn't like the last call on that last pitch. And the 3-2. Swing and a tip into the glove for strike 3. So the inning ends, but the Tigers get a run back. We'll go to the 8th. 6-3 ball game. Go to the 8th. Casper Wells stays in the game. He plays in right field. And Rick Porcello back to the hill facing Alexi Ramirez. Brent Morel and then Juan Pierre. As a pitch that misses low. 1 ball and 1 strike on Ramirez. Alexi 0 for 2 in the game. Ground ball to third. Brandon Inge has had a lot of work today. 1 gone. How about our Comerica game summary? Johnny Damon, a 4-hit game. It's his first 4-hit game of the year. Every Tiger has been a single today, and Rick Porcello has done some really good work here this afternoon. Jim Leland's squad has a chance to take 3 out of 4 from the White Sox. Mark Kotsay will pinch hit now for Morel. So the veteran for the rookie. And Kotsay takes ball 1.
And Bonderman had a great day here yesterday, getting lots of ground balls. He pitched 8 innings. He got 13 ground ball outs. Porcello has 12 ground ball outs so far today.
This one is going to be in the air. Rayburn coming in, 2 gone.
Porcello trying to pitch 8 innings for only the 2nd time this year. And he's got 1 out to get.
The other time he did it was against Cleveland.
I think that was right when he came back up from the minor leagues.
There's a strike call. Yep, you're right. His first start after that minor league stint.
That was a rough start to the second half of the season. It really was. Tigers got swept in that 4-game series. They played that doubleheader and really never recovered from that.
One and one on Juan Pierre. You really hate to reduce an entire season into one 4-game series, but I think in this case you really can, because the Tigers have been playing so well going into the break, and it really took the air out of their sails coming out of the break.
They were only a half a game out of first place when the second half of the season began. And the White Sox were playing sizzling baseball, and the Tigers just struggled. And then you had the injury to Guillen and also Magler Ordonez.
Three balls, 2 strikes on Juan Pierre. Porcello now over 100 pitches.
But as they say, there's no crying in baseball.
3-2 pitch. Fouled away. Nope, and the Tigers certainly have accepted the fact that they were, as Leland likes to say, blindsided by some of those injuries, but all a part of the game. I think more than anything else, it showcased the fact that the Tigers probably needed a little bit more depth. One little looper into shallow left. Rayburn coming on to make the catch. And so Porcello pitches through 8 innings. What a strong effort today. Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by your neighborhood Spartan store. For locations, check out turntospartan.com. And by National Coney Island, fast, fresh, and friendly since 1965. Well, we've got some changes now for the White Sox as we head to the bottom of the 8th. Omar Vizquel will move over to third base. Brent Lillibridge will take over at second base. And the new pitcher is Sergio Santos.
Sergio's had a nice year. And the numbers validate that. 49 games pitched, 1-0 record. He has 14 holds. He has a strikeout in inning, and he's another one of those guys out of that bullpen for Ozzie Guillen that's got a mid-90s fastball and a pretty good breaking pitch to go along with it.
Brandon Inge will lead it off, then Alex Avila and Austin Jackson in the bottom of the 8th. 6-3 in favor of the Tigers. They have badly out-hit the White Sox today, 13-4. Inge 1 for 3, infield single back in the second. One and one. Santos takes over for Thornton, who took over for the starter Floyd. Just fell off the mound. Some fans screaming for a balk there, but there's nobody on base.
It's a big hole on that mound. Fell in it.
2 balls, 1 strike. Santos listed at 6'3", 210. Out of Bellflower, California. That's popped up. Shallow right field. Carlos Quentin is there.
Hey fans, be at Comerica Park this Sunday when the Tigers take on the Baltimore Orioles at 1:05. All kids 14 and under receive a Tigers back-to-school binder. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. It's always fun when the kids go back to school, get the lunch buckets or get whatever it is they may be giving out. In this case, it's the old binder.
It's fun for the parents because the kids are going back to school. 0-1 on Avila. Avila single for 3.
Summers are tough these days for some parents where you just don't let the kids go outside as much as we were able to go outside. As long as you were home when the street lights came on, it was all good. Stayed away from that spanking. Oh yeah, we got spankings back in them days now. You get timeouts now.
Did you have to go out and get a switch?
Oh, I did. Had to go out and get some. I always go out and get the biggest one I could find and think my mom wouldn't whoop me with it. She'd grab that thing and whap.
You go get the biggest one?
I would, because I'm thinking I'm reverse psychology. She's not going to hit me with this thing.
The 1-1 pitch is swung out and missed 1 and 2. I bet you changed your tune after that.
I sure did. Not only every now and then did you get a little pat on the backside from your parents, but the neighbors would pat you on the backside if you got out of line, if they knew your family well enough.
The 1-2. Much different these days, though.
Timeout.
Yep. Go to your room where you've got the TV, the Xbox, videos.
When my mom really wanted to punish me, she didn't let me go to the boys' club. And that hurt.
That hurt, huh?
That hurt. I said, no, Mom, whoop me.
Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Avila's out of there. Well, if Jose Valverde is credited with a save in this game, here's what you do. You text ZOOM to 37338 to enter to win a party in a Comerica Park suite. Brought to you by Mazda. Here's Austin Jackson. Santos went to high school in Santa Ana, California, to a baseball powerhouse there, Mater Dei High School. The 1-0. 1 ball and 1 strike. Diamondbacks originally selected him in the first round back in 2002. Swing and a miss.
Nice breaking ball there.
Jackson has struck out 3 times today. He's also walked and he has scored a run. Swing and a miss, and down he goes on strikes again. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Santos. We're on our way to the 9th inning with the Tigers leading in this one 6-3. Standing today.
And pitching some of his best baseball of this season. He has gone at least 7 or more innings in 5 of his last 6 starts. So he's gotten a lot stronger as well.
Vizquel, Rios, and Konerko to face Ryan Perry, who's in now. Perry trying to get the final 3 outs. Vizquel takes low and inside. Two for 3 today. 2 of the 4 hits that Chicago has. Two and 0. Vizquel had a single in the 4th, scored on the home run by Rios. Then he singled in the 6th, but did not score. 2-0 pitch. It's 3 balls and no strikes on Vizquel.
Well, if you're Perry, you do not want to be pitching in much traffic with the guys that are coming up behind the Vizquel, Rios and Konerko. They've got some legitimate home run power.
And he walks him. Leadoff walk here in the 9th inning.
Perry came in a couple of outings ago, and it was in Kansas City against the Royals, of course, and he was dominant for 2 innings. He had a power fastball. He was pitching with a lot of edge. But then he came into a game here against the White Sox in the opener and didn't fare very well, didn't pitch with that same kind of intensity, and that's what Jim Leyland's talking about. He said he needs to see that fire in Perry's eyes every time he takes the mound.
Rios taking it, strike one. Now that appears to be the next step for Ryan Perry, and his stuff is certainly good enough. As Schlereth and Koch tune up in the bullpen. Here's the 0-1. 1 ball and 1 strike.
If you really think about it, Perry the last few years really hasn't pitched that much baseball. He was a closer in college, which meant he didn't pitch all that much there. And then once he got into the Tigers minor leagues, he didn't stay in the minors very long.
No.
Just a handful of innings, and he's in the big leagues.
This might be a double play ball. There's one. And it is not in time. Oh, come on now.
Boy, they got to turn that.
Perry gets a double play ball. Safe at first base is Rios.
Well, Rios has got some speed, and it appeared that Peralta stepped back to get the good hop. He gave the ball to Will Rhymes, and they threw it over there, and you saw that Rios hit the front part of the bag. Take a look at where his front foot lands right here. Right on the front part of the bag, and by him doing that, that allowed him to get that safe call. So many guys, when they land on that bag, they land right in the middle, and had he done that, he would have been out.
So Paul Nart right on it. Called him safe. Good call. 1 on, 1 out. And there's a strike to Paul Konerko. One ball, 1 strike.
For a team that has a lot of fly ball hitters, the last couple of starting pitchers have been able to get these guys to hit into a lot of ground ball outs.
That's in the air to shallow left. Rayburn drifting. 2 outs. So the White Sox now are down to their final out. And it's going to be Manny Ramirez. Ozzie Guillen's team came in here with a winning streak. They won the first game of the series. They're in danger now of losing the final 3. Minnesota is idle, so the White Sox would drop 6 out.
It's a light schedule in the American League today. Only 2 games. This one and one other one.
Texas, Toronto later tonight. Ball 1 to Ramirez. There's a strike call. Manny with a look back for Tony Randazzo, the home plate umpire. Look good. Right at the knees. Ground ball to third. Brandon has it. He'll go to second for the force. And the Tigers win the final 3 games in this 4-game series. Again, an impressive start for a Tigers starting pitcher. Rick Porcello did most of the heavy lifting today, pitching-wise. The Tigers come away with a 6-3 win. Back with a whole lot more.